Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on how to gain greater meaning from your dreams. My name is Charlotte Alea, and I'm a clairvoyant healer as well as an expert in intuitive self-healing. And I have been working with my dreams for many, many years. I have found that working with my dreams to be a incredibly illuminating and integral process to my own intuitive self-growth, self-discovery, and healing processes. So in this video, I'd like to walk you through my own process of working with my dreams, and specifically 4 steps that's really going to help you learn how to gain greater meanings from your dreams so that they can be a part of your own process, whether you are on a spiritual self-discovery journey or in a process of healing yourself from past wounding behaviors. Whatever it is whatever journey that you're on, working with your dreams can be such a wonderful, wonderful part of that journey. So how this all came about is actually I have been a prolific dreamer my entire life. I can remember details of some of my earliest dreams from when I was like 6 and 7 years old. The thing is that dreams speak in metaphor, like really heavy symbolism. It almost feels like when we have a dream, there's some code that we need to crack, right? And so that's why there's so many books out there on dream meanings and dream symbols. And a lot of those books are incredibly helpful, except that they only give us really small snippets and portions. And sometimes the meanings that other people provide regarding the symbols in our dreams just aren't entirely accurate to us. So I went through this process around 5 years ago when I started my own intuitive journey of self-discovery and self-healing. I just didn't find the information out there regarding how to interpret my dreams all that helpful. It only gave me minimal information. It gave me these outside references for symbols and archetypes, but it didn't really help me understand how to really fully integrate the meaning of my dream and learn what I'm supposed to do with all this material that's coming through while I'm sleeping. So I followed my own intuition, my own skills and abilities, my own gifts, and I developed my own 4-step process. So that's what I'm going to be sharing here with you. Anybody can learn this process. It just takes some practice. And I'm also going to be sharing a couple extra special tips that I have found to be really, really helpful in this process. And so whether you are a prolific dreamer or not, whether you just sporadically dream, or whether maybe you just never remember your dreams, there's going to be really important and juicy information in this video for you as well. I also want to share that I am no different from anybody else out there. I don't wake up in the morning being like, oh yes, I get it. Wow, that was this incredible, meaningful dream, and now I know what to do with it. I always use this process. 9 times out of 10, I wake up from a dream first thing in the morning, and I go, okay, what the heck was that about? And I am totally bewildered 9 times out of 10. And then also 9 times out of 10, when I go through this process, it clicks. I get the meaning, I get the significance, I understand why it's coming through now, and I know what to do with it. So this process works. If you commit to using these tools, it works. And I'm going to show you the proof of that as well in this video. Alrighty, so let's jump in to step 1 of 4. So step 1 of 4 is so important to do immediately when you wake up. Immediately, you want to replay that dream you just had in your head. So without getting up, you want to do this while you're still in bed. And it takes a few extra seconds, right? So I promise you that if you get out of bed without replaying your dream, 10 seconds, that dream's gone. It's gone. There is this veil that exists between our subconscious and our conscious mind, and that veil comes down and the dream just fades away. So in order to stay in that in-between space, we want to actually linger in bed for a few moments and replay the dream we just had in our head like a movie. So think about when you watch a movie and you're telling a friend about it, or you're just thinking about it in your head and like re-enjoying it. You're doing the same thing. No matter how bizarre or weird or gross or scary that dream is, you want to go through all the details and replay it, which moves it from your subconscious into your conscious waking mind, from dream state into waking state. Then you can get up and feed the dog, get your coffee, do whatever you need to do, use the bathroom, but just linger in bed an extra 30 seconds. That point is vital, and is vital for all of you out there who don't feel like they remember their dreams. It's because you're just not giving yourself a chance to transfer the contents of that dream over into your waking mind. So that's all it takes, just 30 seconds. All right, so easy, right? Step 1 is pretty easy. Now we're going to move to step 2. And it is the most important step to this process. And it is also the step that I am sure that the most of you are going to have the most resistance to. So this step is write your dream down. Write it out. Get yourself a dream journal. Use your regular journal. Use some scraps of paper. Whatever it is, write that dream down. And so I know you're saying, but I don't have time in the morning. I don't have time to do that in the morning. I'm, getting up, going to my workout, getting to work. I go into spiritual practice, whatever your morning routine is. Yes, this requires adding this to your morning routine. And let me tell you, it is vital. It is vital to really understanding and receiving the meaning from your dream. What happens when we begin to get out a pen and a paper, and I'll explain why in a moment, why I recommend using a pen and paper rather than your phone or your computer or a tablet. It slows down the process enough so that a lot of details, memories, associations begin to come through. So when you begin to write, your thinking process literally slows down. And so you're not jumping over anything. You're actually being able to write out all these details. And you may not even think that you remember those details until you actually start writing. The details start to come back. So just start at the very beginning of the dream. Even if you don't remember the beginning of the dream, just start with the first thing that you remember. And you can just start with the words, I remember in my dream that, and just start writing, and then see what other details begin to surface. And write absolutely everything down, as insignificant as you think it was, because often the most insignificant thing in our dream ends up being the most significant. Our dreams are full of metaphors. So sometimes if you see a cup or a starfish or a flag or a word, that ends up being actually quite significant. And the layers of meaning of that will begin to surface as you are writing it down. What also happens in the writing process is that we begin to have associations. So memories begin to surface regarding like, this person was in my dream. And for some reason now, this memory of that person is popping up. Right? And so then that starts to, your dream actually, while doing that, is starting to unfurl for you. It's starting to like a box. You're actually starting to unwrap it, unpack it, and move through the layers of it. What also happens in the writing process is we begin to use the language, the words that we use to describe the things in our dream end up having really deep significance. So do you know the term Freudian slip, right? Where we say something without meaning to, that has deeper significant and unconscious meanings. That actually often happens in a lot of different ways when we are writing down our dreams. So for example, say you're writing about your mom and you use the word rash to describe her. Then you might be like, why did I just use the word rash when I've never used that word? I don't associate that with my mom. Why did I use rash? What does rash mean? Do I mean a literal rash, like on my skin? Do I feel that I'm acting rashly right now? So layers begin to just surface regarding the language that we use when we are writing out our dream. Now you want to do this as soon as waking up as possible, but yes, life happens and sometimes that's not possible. So wherever you can fit this into your morning routine, and the earlier the better, but as long as you have already replayed it, you should still be able to get out quite a few details, even if you have to do it, an hour or so after you wake up in the morning. And the reason why it's ideal for you to use a paper and pen versus a computer or a tablet is because it's just slower. That your writing is a lot slower when you are using a pen and paper than it is when you're typing. And you also will have much less of a urge to delete, because remember, when you're writing out your dreams, every slip is important. You don't want to be editing yourself at all. If you say a word by mistake, if you misspell something, or if you think it's a mistake, it's likely not a mistake and you want to keep it all. So you're much less likely to do that if you are writing. Sometimes when we're typing, we just go into self-editing mode without realizing it. You also might receive images or symbols in your dream that you want to draw out. And so that is actually much, much more easily done when you're using a pen and paper than when you are using an electronic device. Okay, so time for bonus tip 1, actually. So this is not in the 4-step process, but this is going to greatly enhance and increase your ability to remember and record your dreams, is to get a good night's sleep. As simple as it sounds, almost everyone I talk to who is able to recall their dreams easily is getting good sleep and is getting about the same amount every night. Now, the reason why that is important and significant is because dreaming is part of a habit. We get into a routine, and our unconscious, subconscious mind sort of understands what to expect of us, and thus sends us those dreams at the correct time in the night, or in the morning rather, right? So like for me, I know I wake up at between 6 and 6:30 every morning, and so I will be sent my most significant dreams that I need to remember and write down slightly before 6 in the morning, usually. And then I'll wake up and remember it, sometimes go back to sleep for a few minutes, but I'll have that and I know that that's when they're going to come through. So get around the same amount of sleep every night, be consistent and get a full night's sleep. When you are getting less sleep, it means that you haven't really given your mind, your subconscious mind, a chance to get to that place where it can feed you those dreams, those full, luscious, really meaningful dreams. It's like you're just cutting yourself off short. So that's bonus tip 1. All right, so let's get back to the 4-step process and go into step 3. So step 3, go back to the previous day. Go back and recall yesterday, the day before you had this dream. Your dreams actually begin as much as 24 hours in advance. Okay, so let me repeat that. Your dream began as much as 24 hours ago. So what I mean by that is whatever happened yesterday has direct relevance and impact and importance to your dream. Your dream is actually a response to what is happening in your life. And it's a response to what is happening in your life that is most present within you. So think about what was happening yesterday. Did you have a conflict with your spouse or your partner or boyfriend or girlfriend? Did you carry home a lot of work stress and anxiety and obligations? You're thinking through stuff. Is there a decision or choice that you're sitting with and grappling with and thinking about which direction to go? Is there simply a question that you're sitting with, right? So this might be regarding your spiritual path, your career, your relationships. What is that question that you're sitting with? Whatever your dream is very well may be an answer, a response to that question, or showing you where you are at in the process of exploring it. What has been surfacing regarding your family? What are you healing right now? What interactions have you been having that have been triggering for you? That's just been gnawing at you and bringing up emotions. So this is all so significant. Our dreams don't just come out from random places. They are in direct response to what we are immediately moving through. So always read your dream as response to what is happening. Okay, so now I'm going to offer bonus tip 2, which is going to be really helpful in this regard. You can actually direct the energy of your dreams with intention. So what I mean by that is you can go to bed and you can ask your dreams a question. You can ask your highest self a question and ask your highest self to answer that question through your dreams. I do this quite often. And when we do this, it's important to know that whatever dream we have is a response, is an answer to that question. Because let me tell you, okay, this is another 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, I wake up and being like, that's the answer? What? And I am baffled. And then I get up and I move through those first 2 steps, recalling, writing it down. And I'm like, oh, of course. Of course this is the response to my question. So ask your dreams to your dreams are a resource for you. Your subconscious, unconscious mind wants to talk to you, wants to send answers through. So ask, most definitely ask. And if you are somebody who has a lot of trouble recalling dreams or even having dreams, you can actually start asking your highest self to start talking to you through your dreams. When you do this, give it some time. Even when you ask a question too, if you wake up and you're not able to remember it, just ask again. It's okay to do this a few times. When you haven't been actually remembering your dreams, sometimes it does take a little practice to sort of clear the pipes and to begin to have the dreams. You do need to, when you do this though, especially if you haven't been having dreams, haven't been remembering them, you need to devote yourself fully to those first 2 steps of recalling and writing down, because you have to meet your dreams halfway, right? You have to let your highest self, your subconscious, unconscious mind know that you are all in. Some other things to kind of help clear the pipes is to clean your bedroom. So literally dust, clean the surfaces, open the windows, air it out. that clears out stuck energy, and use a smudge stick as well to clear out the energy. So sometimes when I notice, like for a week, I'm like, wow, like everything is coming through so clouded and unclear. I clean my bedroom, and like boom, the dreams come back really clear. So that's another little bonus tip. I realize actually I'm giving you a lot of bonus tips, so it's more than 2. It's going to be a lot throughout this video. Okay, so let's move on to step 4. So step 4 is using a tarot or oracle deck to gain deeper and further meanings of your dreams. I love this step. It is like the secret sauce to really, really getting deeper into the meanings of some of these symbols, which you may be like, what? But I get that part, but I'm just not quite fully understanding this. Tarot and oracle decks include archetypal and symbolic images that will allow you to gain a deeper understanding of some of the aspects of your dream or the overall meaning of your dream. So what happens is through the images, we are sometimes sort of surprised. And that shifts us out of our linear cognitive thinking brains. It's kind of like wakes us up to some kind of a different perspective. And thus it then turns on our intuitive minds. It lets us have surprising connections to things that we wouldn't otherwise think of in our conscious cognitive linear minds. So for example, going back to this example of dreaming about your mom and then using the word rash, right? Okay. So what if I was then to draw a card because I wanted to further illuminate the significance of my mom in my dream, and say then I drew a card. Let me see if I have it here. Actually, okay, one second. Let me just pull up that card. Okay, so let's say then I drew for my mom, I drew the river card. And the river signifies forgiveness. It signifies letting go through forgiveness. And so maybe that this word rash and my mom appearing and the river card, maybe it means that there's some forgiveness I need to do towards myself regarding making rash decisions, which came up because of something that my mom, because my mom made rash decisions, or I learned that from her, and I need to forgive myself and thus forgive her. Okay, so you see how that process works? You want to use a deck that has both shadow and light qualities in it. So this would include any tarot deck, absolutely any tarot deck, and specific oracle decks. Decks that you do not want to use are decks that only contain light, positive qualities. So for example, angel decks, ascended masters, goddesses, decks that have, positive messages and tips and affirmations, right? So those are not the type of deck to use for interpreting a dream. Our unconscious minds are full of shadows. And dream work is really about illuminating those shadows, bringing them into conscious awareness through love, through compassion, through acceptance. So we're actually meeting these deeper pieces of our shadow through love in order to integrate them. Our dreams are the ocean. They are the underworld. They contain everything. So that means that in our dreams, we will surface, some very incredibly ascended light aspects of ourselves, but we're also going to surface a lot of shadows, and that is to be embraced. So any tarot deck will do. Every tarot deck includes light and shadow qualities, which is why I love working with tarot decks so much. And I want to show you one oracle deck. That was the deck that I just showed you a card from that I would highly recommend for this process as well. If tarot just feels a little bit like too intimidating or too much to learn or something. So that deck is the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. Let me just show you box. It's by Kim Krans, who's the author of the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. I have been using this deck for several months, and it is incredibly deep and wise and just so incredibly powerful for the ages and the times that we're living in right now. Every single card includes light and shadow qualities to it, and so it really spans the entire spectrum of the human experience and works really, really well for dream work. So any tarot deck, or I'd recommend Kim Krans' Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. Okay, so my final bonus tip is to go back after a week, a few days, months, and reread your dreams. When something is happening in your life that may be confusing, or when there's a lot of change afoot, when you're just feeling confused or baffled or in doubt or fear or not sure what direction to go back and reread your dreams. Likely you've already received the guidance you need in your dreams. Our dreams are ahead of ourselves. They act in a different timeline than our conscious minds do. And so I can't tell you how much I have gotten from following my intuition, flipping to a page of my dream journals and reading and being like, wow, oh my goodness, I was receiving guidance for what's happening now 3 months ago. And I'm not fully getting it until now. So that's the other piece. If you don't fully get your dream, even after you've gone through the whole process, you're like, Charlotte, I've written it down, I drew some cards, it's still just not completely clear. That's okay. Let me show you something. I started this journal back in July. I filled it, plus almost all of this one since then. So I'm about, so these are all my dreams that I have filled out in the past, past 7 months? Like just, yeah, I mean, so much. And there was one moment actually that I was sitting with this question, and I went back and I flipped to a page and I saw that I'd written down a symbol. And at the time, I was like, I have no idea what this symbol means. I'm just going to write it down. And I knew what that symbol meant in that moment. And it gave me the exact direction to go and look up that symbol. And it gave me the guidance that I needed. So your dream journals become your guidebooks. They become your guidebooks. You are your own oracle. Isn't that incredible? There's so much wisdom that comes through our dreams that takes sometimes a lot of time to unlock. And as long as we have the records of it, we can always go back to it. These are precious. These books are precious to me. And I'm incredibly proud and delighted about how full they are. This is why it is so important to write down your dreams. Okay, so that's it. You are well equipped now to begin cracking all the codes coming through your dreams. If you like this video, I would love it if you would click the like button that's either at the top or bottom of your screen, and also subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting videos regularly around dreams, dream meanings, developing intuition, developing psychic gifts. If you'd like to learn more about me or book a healing session, please visit me at bigbeautifulbreakthrough.com. Thank you for watching.